Hi Bookish Besties, my name is Brittany. This is Recipes and Reads. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you are new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're already subscribed, as always, I appreciate your continued support. Thank you for returning to another video. Today, I have a fun Booktube collaboration for you. So a few weeks ago, Krista from Books and Jams so kindly asked me to be a part of a booktuber collaboration she was putting together where she was asking us to recommend a book that made us laugh. And after I saw the finished product of that collaboration, I was so inspired. I thought it would be a great idea to incorporate something similar for my Bookmas content. And that is exactly what I did. I asked a bunch of booktubers to provide me with their top recommendation for either a holiday or wintry or cozy recommendation. And really, those are the only parameters I gave. I really wanted them to give me a recommendation that was going to be representative of their tastes and their channel. So I didn't want to put too many limitations on it. It could be any book, any genre. We actually have quite a wide variety of recommendations in here. We have some mystery, we have some horror, we have some thriller, historicals, classics. We have something for everybody in this video. And just to keep things a little bit interesting, I did not organize this video in any way. So the recommendations are not neatly categorized into genre or anything. I thought it would just be fun for the viewer to not know what kind of recommendation was going to come up. And plus, I want you to check out all of these channels. I want you to check out all of these recommendations and maybe find some new booktubers to fall in love with. I will, of course, remember to leave all the channels down below for you to check out. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the recommendations. And at the very end of the video, I will provide you with mine.
Hi, Brittany. Thank you so much for having me as a part of this collab. Anyone who has ever checked out my channel, Brittany Loves Reading, will know that I do love a holiday and a holiday read. So it was very easy to have a list of books that I could recommend to you, but I am going to go with one that I don't think a lot of people have read, and that is A Little Magic by Lindsey. This book's on KU. It's really accessible to read, and also if you love Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, you are going to love this book. The ideas are really similar, but I really liked this one even a little bit better. This follows Ellie and Theo. Ellie is coming home to write an article for her travel website. She is coming home not expecting to run into Theo. He is a professional NHL player. He should not be home in this town, but he recently bought his family's lodge. They run into each other and they rekindle a romance that is decades in the making. This book also shows off two holidays, as one of these characters is Jewish and one of these characters celebrates Christmas, and we see how they meld them together through past and current holidays. It's a really special book. I gave it 5 stars. I hope you all would enjoy it as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Rochelle and my channel here on Booktube is Good Morning Dreamer. I have a limb difference called ectrodactyly, and one of the things with my channel is talking about books that have representation in them. I also always end my videos with the message that you are worthy and capable of amazing things. I just want to try my best to talk about positivity and have accurate representation, especially in online spaces. Some of the books that I'd like to talk about and recommend would be Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This is one of my all-time favorite books and has amazing limb difference representation. This book has made me cry so many times because of how accurate it is and how much it made me feel seen. Now, if you don't want something that is cozy like that, then I'd say Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates is another book that is really great to read and has that creepy wintry factor as well. I hope you enjoy one of these recommendations and hope to talk to you all soon. Bye.
Hello, my name is Venus and I'm from the channel Venus Escapes to Read. Thank you so much for inviting me to this collaboration. My holiday pick is going to be The Plight Before Christmas by Kate Stewart. This is a Christmas romance. I gave it 5 stars last year. In this book, we are following Whitney and Eli. Whitney has just broken up with her boyfriend. She got skipped over for a promotion that felt like she was owed, and she also has a broken toe. She's going through it, and her mother has insisted that the entire family, including all the siblings, their spouses, and their children, come and stay at their grandparents' cabin for Christmas. And when she gets there, she finds out that Eli, her ex of 20 years ago, that she hasn't seen in that long, is a guest with her brother. And so this is forced proximity, second chances. It's absolutely hilarious. Family drama is entertaining, and Christmas itself, if you're looking for a book that has all the Christmas vibes, Christmas itself is like its own character. So I highly recommend this one. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for wanting me to give you a recommendation for my favorite holiday read. My name is Becky from Bex Reads. I mostly read romance and fantasy books on my channel, but I will read a little bit of everything everything. Those are my two favorites. So one of my favorite holiday winter reads is Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzner. This is a nutcracker retelling that is historical fiction with magical realism, sort of verging into historical fantasy. We are following this young girl named Marietta who just wants to be a prima ballerina. That is all she wants to do. But her family thinks it's time for her to put away her childish dreams of being a ballerina, settle down, get married, all that jazz. And when this mysterious toy maker Drosselmeyer comes into town, her mother thinks that he is the perfect match for her. So he is commissioned to build the set for what is supposed to be her final ballet performance. And on Christmas Eve, she is exploring this set when he starts to sort of chase her. So she hides in the back of a grandfather clock, and when it strikes 12, she emerges into Everwood, which is this very snowy confectionery type world where everything is very sugary. And there she ends up being taken to the palace where the king offers her the chance of a lifetime. He offers her the chance to be his prized dancer for the entertainment of his kingdom. And she thinks that this is exactly what she wants. She takes him up on this offer, but this offer turns darker than what she was expecting. This was the first Nutcracker retelling that I had ever read, and while I knew what the Nutcracker was and I was familiar with the story, this book got me so much more interested in the Nutcracker story. If that sounds like something that appeals to you, I highly recommend it. It's perfect for this season. And I hope if you choose to read this, I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
Hello, this is Chloe from Chloe Reads Books. Thank you, Brittany, for picking me to be part of your recommendations video. I am incredibly touched. Thank you so much. As a little introduction to my channel for your viewers who I'm sure don't know who I am, I read pretty much everything. Even from what you can see behind me, I read romance, I read thrillers, I read horror, I read fantasy. So I don't think there's any books you can definitely pin down to me, but I do love a romance. And one thing I love is a small town romance. So you have asked for a winter holiday recommendation, and I have gone for a small town romance, which is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. This is about Charlie and Cass, who are identical twins. One of them is a famous chef on a TV show, the other runs a bakery in a small town. Charlie has an accident that causes her to lose her sense of taste, so she can't judge a cooking competition. So Charlie and Cass swap lives and pretend to be the other. This book genuinely feels like a Hallmark movie. It is so cute, so fun, and the romance is really strong as well. So this, I think, is my favorite Christmas romance, and I will be picking it up year on year to enjoy it again and again. Thanks again for choosing me. I can't wait to see the video and all the other great recommendations.
Hello there, my friends. My name is Brittany. You can find me on the YouTube channel Be the Book Nerd, where I share my stupid opinions about the books I've been reading. I do largely post in vlog format. That is my favorite type of content to consume, and so it only makes logical sense that that is my favorite type of content to create. Today, the task at hand is to discuss a cozy read. Now, for me personally, cozy reads automatically equate in my brain as romance, and specifically cozy romance. One of my favorite authors in the romance genre is Tania Hibbert. For this task, I wanted to find something that you could read in one sitting. And my friends, I'm here to tell you today that this book right here, Wrapped Up in You, is Tania Hibbert's Christmas novella. It follows Will Reed, who is a billionaire actor and has like an award-winning face, but the one thing that he doesn't have is his best friend's little sister. Abby Farrell is super smart. She is sassy. She is a divorcee who is completely not interested in love again. And Will's goal is to make her fall in love with him by Christmas next year. The novella is a 4-hour listen. It's a Kobo original. I borrowed it from Libby. It is also available in ebook format, but I personally prefer the audio format of this one because it is told by 2 different narrators, 2 different voice actors for the 2 different parts, and I took note of who the actors are in my phone so that I could tell you. Selena Scott Benin and Philip Batley are the voice actors for this book. I really recommend it. For me personally, spicy romance can be a little bit of an ick to listen to, but this one, just chef's kiss. I would listen to a full-length novel about these 2. Anyway, I hope you check it out. Let me know if you do, and I'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Amy. My channel is A-Star Reads, and I'm so excited that Brittany included me in this because I love the concept of different holiday recommendations. A big part of my channel every year is the Advent Calendar Challenge, which I do. I've been doing doing it for 5 years. And I have a lot of different recommendations that I've given on that because a lot of the books that I do read for that are holiday books. So if you're curious, check out my channel. I wanted to give you a recommendation today that's a little different, and some people may not have heard of this before, and that is Mr. Dickens and His Carol by Samantha Silva. I really liked this. It got a bit of mixed reviews, and I think that's because people don't know what it is going into it, or don't know what to expect going into it. This is an historical fiction, and it is a bit literary. So it's going to give a lot of details, and it's going to have some darker moments. And if you loved It's a Wonderful Life, the movie It's a Wonderful Life, I could see you loving this book because this gives It's a Wonderful Life vibes. And we've got Charles Dickens, who is facing some difficulties in his life right now during the holiday season, and he has writer's block, but he has to write a Christmas story. And he's going in a direction that is not looking to be very successful, but he finds this muse who helps him create A Christmas Carol. If you're looking for beautiful London Christmassy vibes, this is a book that I think you will enjoy as long as you go into it knowing what it is, what to expect from it. Happy holidays. Thank you so much, Brittany, for including me in this video. And I hope that you all find amazing recommendations out there and read some great books this holiday season.
Hey guys, my name is Mel from Melanor Reads, and thank you so much to Brittany for asking me to give you guys a cozy holiday or winter recommendation. I tend to lean a little more on the stabby, romantasy, or a little bit more horrific side of horror. However, I did want to recommend you guys one of my favorite horror authors that writes cozy horror and one that is set in the winter, and that is Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates. I adore Darcy Coates so much. I think that her books are so fun. They're horror while also being kind of cozy horror, and the fact that most of them do have a happy ending, but you still aren't sure how you're going to get there, and you're not 100% sure if it's going to be happy all the time. This one's about Claire, and the world starts to end, and she gets trapped away from her sister in this house with a guy that she's never met, with creatures out there trying to get her. It's a post-apocalyptic series. It has a touch of romance in it. I think this will be perfect for people looking for a cozy horror to read by the fireplace this winter.
Hi, I'm Heather from here Booktubes, and I decided to go with The Gamble by Kristen Ashley. This is a small town romantic suspense with a very alpha love interest, so if you don't like that, you will not like this book. He's not abusive like you sometimes get with alphas. Our main character is a woman who is going on vacation to decide if she should break up with her fiance or not. She goes to this incredible cabin log home in the mountains, and the owner is there when he's not supposed to be, and also there's a blizzard and they're snowed in together. They are not snowed in together for very long or for very much of the book. She does get sick and he has to nurse her back to health, but that is not the setting for the most of the book. You will like this if you like alphas, if you like small town romance, if you like the writing style, very important for a Kristen Ashley book, and also if you like it when the couple gets together towards the beginning of the book and stays together throughout the whole book. So a lot of the book you are reading them as a couple. The most important content warnings for this book are sexual assault of a side character, and also attempted suicide of a side character, and a loved one who has passed from suicide. So know that.
Hey Brittany and friends, thank you so much for asking me to recommend you my top wintry / cozy read for the season. I'm Leandra the TBR0, and my favorite genre is mystery, specifically detective fiction. So of course I'm recommending Murder After Christmas by Rupert Latimer. This is a golden age detective fiction novel originally published in 1944. It has been republished by the British Library Crime Classics series, as well as Poison Pen Press in the United States. This book has a really classic setting of a family gathering for Christmas, and the patriarch, a man that many people want dead, ends up being found in the snow dressed as Santa Claus the next day. Now everyone has to figure out who killed him, and the title itself becomes very important by the end, but I'm not going to give any spoilers. I highly recommend it. It's very humorous, the plotting is quite fun, and it has a bit of a unique time setting because it is set during World War II, so you do hear about rationing, about making sure to have the lights off by a certain time, and it's become a reread for me every single year, and I can't wait to dig into it this December.
Hello, my name's Isabel, or Izzy, and I have the channel Happy For Now. I talk about romance books and manga specifically, and then whatever else I'm reading. Generally, it's those two things. And my recommendation for a cozy wintertime read is Spiked Hot Chocolate by Rilsey Adams. This is a fantastic short holiday novella where two unsuspecting people meet over some spiked hot chocolate at a restaurant, find out they're both spending Christmas alone, and end up spending it together instead. It's definitely the perfect sit down down and read in one sitting vibe. You might want to spike hot chocolate while you read it. The exact balance of spicy to like sweetness in the story, and is a great introduction to Rochelle Adams if you've never read her before. I hope you enjoy it if you try it.
Hi, my name is Jen, and my channel is a Jen who reads. So when I think of my top Christmas, winter, holiday read, that's actually really hard because I live in Florida and it's never cold, especially at Christmas time. So when I think of winter vibes, I don't necessarily think of snow, but I do think of warm, fuzzy feelings and just the innocence of being a kid at Christmas. So the book that I chose for my winter recommendation is a classic, and that is The Chronicles of Narnia. This has everything from imagination and the innocence of children, and it even has snow. I love the cozy feeling when I read about having tea and eating in the dam with the beavers. I love how powerful Aslan is. But my most favorite thing about The Chronicles of Narnia is the classic battle between good and evil. But because this is a winter, holidays, Christmas recommendation, we can't forget that The Chronicles of Narnia also has Santa Claus, and it has sugary treats. There are so many metaphors and so much symbolism in this book that even though at its core it is a children's book, it is the perfect read for any age. And I think that's what Christmas is like as well. As a 43-year-old, I still get excited when I see wrapped presents under my tree. So my recommendation for a winter read is The Chronicles of Narnia. Happy reading.
Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. My channel is Hannah Lynch. It used to be Hannah's Recent Reads, and my recommendation is The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. I think everybody should read this in the holiday season. It's very festive, very Christmassy. It is a workplace rivalry set at a bookstore, and it's super short. It's less than 200 pages, but it doesn't feel like it's too short. Like, it packs the whole story into those 190 or so pages. I just love the writing in this one, and the rivals to lovers romance is one of my favorites of all time, like of any romance, not just specifically holiday romances. And I just love the two main characters. There's lots of good banter and lots of like good festive ambiance and wintry ambiance. I annotated this, and I even have a tab specifically for festive vibes. So I just love this one so much, and I think everybody should read this.
Hello, my name is Vanessa, also known as Read with Dr. B, and I am very excited that Brittany has asked me to be part of this collab. So over on my channel, I do a lot of reading sprints. I talk about all kinds of books, but I primarily read romance, and I really like dark romance. I really like spicier books, but I also dabble a little bit in romantasy, and I'm just branching out a little bit more into horror. So if that sounds like something that you'd enjoy, come on over and subscribe to my channel and hang out with me. I think that I have two books that I actually would like to recommend for this collab video. The first one being a book that I read last year. It's called A Merry Little Meet Cute, and I will say the marketing was a little bit off on this one because there wasn't really a meet cute happening, but this is by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone, so you know you're gonna get a spicy time. This also has a plus size female main character. She is an adult film star, and she ends up getting selected or auditioning or of some sort, and she's part of a holiday movie where she meets the main male character who is one of her crushes from a boy band. So you kind of get their whole experience. I will say that this is not super duper Christmassy, but it does give off some really nice holiday vibes. The other book that I love so much, and I read this one actually recently, it's another pink book. It's called 'Tis the Season for Revenge. This is by Morgan Elizabeth, and this one follows Abby, who just got out of a 4-year relationship. Her ex-boyfriend is like a total douche and has dumped her on the night of the Halloween party at his job, where she believes that he is going to earn partner, or he's like in the running to earn partner at the law firm that he works at, and she thinks that he is going to propose to her. Well, that night goes horribly wrong when he dumps her, and she decides to get revenge on him by dating his boss. She ends up finding his boss on a dating app, and by the holiday party, in walks the boss with Abby on his arm, and obviously the ex-boyfriend is there, so you get to see all of this revenge stuff happening. So this was a nice little FU to all the boys that really suck. So my 2 holiday recommendations would be these 2 awesome books. Thank you again so much, Brittany, for including me in this collab.
What's up? It's Jan from Jan Agaton here on Booktube, and I usually lean towards reading more spooky books like horror, thrillers, but I also love my romance and cozy books. Whenever I think of the cozy holiday season, I think of 2 books. This one I feel like not a lot of people talk about nowadays, The City Baker's Guide to Country Living by Louise Miller. This is very Gilmore Girls-esque. This city girl, city baker, goes to this small town and there's like an apple pie contest, baking contest, and they're trying to save this inn, I think, or something like that. I haven't read this in a while, but I remember it was such a feel-good, like Hallmark movie type of book. And same with Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. I love this one, and I'm not a Christmas romance girly, but this is the exception. Gave both these 5 stars, and I would reread these over and over during the holiday season. Thank you, Brittany, for including me in this little collab, and hope y'all have a really good, cozy holiday season.
Hi, I'm Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots, and Brittany has asked me to share with you my absolute top tier comfort book when it comes to holiday reading. And for me, there was only one book that could fit into this category. That is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. It is my mission in life to read this book every single Christmas Eve, and then my family will gather around and we'll watch the Muppets Christmas Carol on Disney Plus together. Spoiler alert, the book doesn't have any Muppets in it, but it is still a wonderful story of kind of learning about how your actions in life can influence and can impact so many other people. It's one of my favorite Christmas traditions. I do it every single Christmas Eve without fail, and I just love watching Ebenezer Scrooge kind of thaw from this hard-hearted and cold person to being so welcoming and so loving and so joyful and having such a big change in his life. It is genuinely my book of Christmas, and I really think you should go and pick it up too.
Hey everyone, my name is Sarah and my channel name is Sarah's Nightstand, and I am going to share with you a book that I plan to read this Christmas. So I haven't read it yet. It just came out in October, but it sounds adorable, and that is The Holiday Honeymoon Switch. This is by Julia McKay, and this one follows 2 best friends who end up in a very sticky situation. One of them is engaged to be married and ends up being stood up at the altar. Now, she has this honeymoon that she's supposed to go on immediately after. It's already paid for. It's a Hawaiian honeymoon. So she convinces her best friend to switch trips with her. Now, her best friend is going to go on this Hawaiian honeymoon and do her trip there. The bride is going to go to a winter cabin and just kind of mourn the loss of this relationship now. And so they end up just switching trips, basically. They both had them planned and now they're switching. The honeymoon ends up being very much interrupted by the groom who decides to bring another woman and check into the honeymoon suite. So now she doesn't have a place to stay. She figures all that out. And then we have the bride who went to this winter retreat and ends up meeting the host of the Airbnb, who is someone actually from her past who looks very different than she remembers. So there's going to be some love stories happening here as well. One is set in a tropical warm place. One is set in a cold winter place. So whether you're in a cold place or a warm place, it's going to fulfill both of those sensations, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be really good. I am planning to read it, and I hope that you are going to think about picking it up as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Laura from the channel Book Circus. I'm going to share with you my top holiday book recommendation for you, which also happens to be my favorite holiday book so far to date, and that is Love in a Winter Wonderland by Abiella Bello. This is a YA Christmas romance that I picked up on a whim last year in December and absolutely fell in love with. This book made me cry happy tears. So in this, we are following Trey and Ariel. Trey's family owns this bookstore called Wonderland, and Ariel, who is very excited about getting into her top art school, is realizing that she needs help with tuition. So she goes to get a job at Wonderland and discovers that Wonderland is on the brink of closing down. So Ariel and Trey team up to try and save Wonderland. There's a Christmas countdown. There's a beautiful, soft romance that develops between Trey and Ariel, and just the beauty of community, and especially of the bookish community of readers coming together to show their support and to save this bookstore. And it was just so incredibly beautiful and sweet. If you are a book lover, this is the book for you this season. The characters in here were so real. I loved these 2 main characters so much. They're so different, but work so incredibly well together. And I had a blast reading this, and I hope that you pick it up this season and enjoy it as well.
Brittany, it's Heather from Books with Heather. Heather, and I'm giving you a holiday winter cozy rec. And my pick for this is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. Unfortunately, I don't own the first book in the series. I own all of the rest of them, but this book is like top tier winter vibes to me. I picked this book up because I was getting so frustrated with every holiday or Christmas book that I picked up, just feeling way too cheesy and less like real life people. And this book, the people felt so real and so solid, and like I could run into them anywhere. The town that the book is set in is very Stars Hollow, so you get that cozy small town found family feel. But it is about a girl who has opened a Christmas tree farm and about all of the people who are in her life, but also more importantly about a little romance going on. Everything about this book just screamed winter to me. It's definitely not a Christmas book. It takes place over the span of an entire winter, so whether you're in the mood for just a cozy book to wrap yourself up in during the cold months, or whether you want a Christmas book, I feel like this could kind of cover both bases. But I loved everything about it. I loved every relationship, whether it was friendships or the romantic interest. I loved the setting. I loved the town. I loved the way that this book made me feel when I finished it. And it's probably the only Christmas winter book that I've ever given 5 stars. So this is my recommendation, Love Light Farms. Sorry, I don't have a picture of the book, but I guess editing is magic. So enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Lindsey from Lindsey's Little Library, and one of my most recommended favorite holiday wintry cozy books that I love to tell people to pick up is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Cox. This is such a sweet, cute book. Reminds me of a Hallmark movie, which I love this time of year. So we follow twins, Charlie and Cass, and they are very different for being identical twins. But Charlie ends up having an accident and she's not able to kind of fulfill her job at the moment. There's big things at stake right now, so they decide to switch places. So Charlie goes back to small town to run the bakery. Cass goes into her place to try to, keep her job where it needs to be and make sure that she fulfills her duties, basically. But it's sweet, it's fun, it's romantic, it's snarky at times, it's fantastic, but definitely worth the read.
Hi everyone, my name is Tania. My channel is Atlas in a Jar. I typically do lots of bookish content, lots of cozy vlogs, just anything that pops up in my head. Brittany has reached out to find out what my favorite wintry, possibly Christmassy book is, and I'm really happy that she did. It's very important to reach across the aisle and kind of form that bond and community, so I'm very happy that she did reach out. Very grateful. A little bit about my channel. Yeah, it's called Atlas in a Jar. The reasoning for that title, I suppose this would be the first time I'm letting anyone know. The channel just really is Atlas, the Greek god Atlas, inside of a jar. Just an all-encompassing thing in a jar. It's a little silly, but I have a meaning behind it. Anyway, my favorite wintry book that I could possibly think of would be one of the first ones that I ever read on Booktube. It is called SOS Titanic by Eve Bunting. It was, again, one of the first books I read on the channel, and I chose it because it was around Christmas, winter time, and the reason for that pick was because of the ice cold iceberg that the Titanic will inevitably meet. So I'm gonna read a little bit about the blurb. This is definitely it reads exactly like the movie. It's precisely like the movie. So it says here, the deck was tilting. Even the passengers who hadn't believed the Titanic could sink were frantic with fear. Many of them had refused to climb into the lifeboats. Now the lifeboats were gone. The doomed passengers rushed this way and that, looking for safety where there was none. Barry, who's this 15-year-old boy from either Ireland or Scotland, I can't remember where that maiden voyage left. Yeah, he's basically our Leonardo DiCaprio Jack character. I had to think about his name for a sec. But yeah, Barry pushed through them looking for Pegan and her brothers, the Flynn boys. They had threatened to throw him overboard when the trip began, but old hostilities had no meaning now. Pegan and her brothers came from his village in Ireland, and now they were trapped behind gates with the other steerage passengers. He wouldn't let them die, not if he could get to them in time. So there's a special little surprise towards the end of the book. It is reading a little bit differently from that iconic scene where Jack is falling into the ocean, and we have Kate Winslet's character is called Rose. Yeah, Rose. So it's a little bit different. It's a different ending than the movie. I really like it because it's quite a parallel story that ends on a different note. I don't want to give you the ending. That's the thing that booktubers don't like, is typically giving spoilers. But I loved all of the details and opulence in the story. And one of my favorite things was looking at classism. So we're looking at the third class passengers versus the first class that comes across the entire book, and it is extremely well written. It's an easy read. It's perfect for the winter cold months, and I think you guys should pick it up. So that's basically it. I want to thank Brittany again for inviting me to speak on her channel, Rescue and Reads. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment under this video, her video, subscribe to her channel. Yeah, that's about it. I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a happy holidays and a cold winter month. Enjoy this Ron sweater. Okay, bye.
Hi friends, I'm Jess from the Hex Library and I'm here to recommend to you The Book Club Hotel by Sarah Morgan. This book is a adult romance, women's fiction set in Christmas time. It follows three best friends who are all at different parts of their life. One has just recently lost a job. One has two children who are leaving the nest. They've graduated from high school, they're going away. And the other has recently found out that the father who abandoned her as a child had another family. These three women get together every year. They go to a hotel and they have a book club and they get together. And this one also involves a fourth woman who recently her husband passed away and she's dealing with having to raise a small child on her own. All of Sarah's Christmas books do center around women kind of finding their way despite what point of their life they're in. There's always multiple women who are in multiple different places of life and them having just like the best atmospheric Christmassy time. This particular one is set in Vermont, but if that one doesn't work for you, The Christmas Sisters is set in the Highlands of Scotland. Any Sarah Morgan Christmas book has all the vibes, all the heart, all the warmth of the season that you might be looking for. Highly recommend.
Hi, my name is Aubrey and I'm from the channel Bookish Blackwell, and my wintry recommendation for you is Misery by Stephen King. Now, just hear me out. This book continues to be my favorite Stephen King novel. We're following this really famous author who gets abducted / kidnapped by his biggest fan, Annie Wilkes. This book is so cold. It's set in the dead of winter. Part of what is keeping him inside of this house is the weather and being snowed in. It is such a gripping story. I read it in one sitting, which is kind of unheard of for me. I highly recommend it if you want something bitter cold to read this winter that will have you on the edge of your seat. Check out Misery by Stephen King.
Hi guys, I am Maddi and I am from This Bookish Cottage, and I was asked by Brittany to be a part of this wonderful video, and so I want to tell you guys what my favorite cozy is for this time of year. You probably haven't heard of this one, and if you have, you probably would not put it in the cozy category, but my favorite cozy book for this time of year is actually Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. Hogfather is a quirky, fun time that has all of the different Christmas vibes, the cozy vibes, winter vibes, and I love this. Plus, there's actually a mini series that you can watch of this book, and it is so good. It's one that we watch every single year, and so it definitely holds a very special place in my heart. But this book, oh my goodness, if you really want to feel like you are in a completely different winter world, this is your book and you will not regret it. Thank you, Brittany, so much for letting me be a part of this, and I am so excited to see the rest of this video and to see what all the other wonderful creators have come up with.
Hello friends, my name is Danni and my channel name is Danni Dabbles, where I read all things fantasy, but I also dabble a little bit in sci-fi, horror, and mystery, so I read a little bit of everything, but my heart is definitely with fantasy. And so for a cozy winter recommendation, I just have to give you guys Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. If you've never heard of this, you follow our main character, Emily, who is a very science-brained woman and really cares more about work than talking to people around her. She is creating an encyclopedia of all of the fae in her world. So she travels to a Scandinavian city in the midst of winter. It's very cold, and is studying a fae that has never been looked at before by humans, or at least people haven't looked at them with the ability to come back and tell others. And so she gets herself into a little bit of a bind. You also have her charismatic companion, who is a colleague of hers, who comes onto the scene as well and is very contrasting to her. It's a very cozy, very found family, but there are some high stakes as well. I hope that you enjoy it, and happy holidays, happy winter season. Stay warm, friends.
Hello, my name is Brie and I am from the channel For Paws in a Book. Thank you so much, Brittany, for asking me to be a part of this Bookmas collaboration. I have the perfect book for you. While I am a big fan of Christmas, the holiday, I am not so much a fan of Christmas books, but I still want that warm, cozy feeling. You know, that book that you can get a blanket, get a cup of hot cocoa, sit by the fire, and just immerse yourself. And if you're looking for that experience as well, I think I have the perfect book for you. This is Small Miracles by Olivia Atwater. This is a book that that I read during my SPIFBO competition, what was it, 2 years ago? Oh my gosh, time flies. This blew me out of the water. Cozy fantasy is not something that I necessarily gravitate towards. However, this book just spoke to me on such a different level. This is about Gadriel. He is the fallen angel of petty temptations, and it's his job to get people to sin. He also has a little bit of a gambling addiction, and he's told by his bookie if he can just get this one person to do just a little sin, then he will wipe his debts away. Unfortunately, this one person is really hard to tempt, and he's trying all these different ways because he starts out as this kind of self-centered character, but we go along and we kind of learn the human condition and the deepness and uniqueness of humans, and it's just a really heartwarming, warm story. There's also a ton of queer representation in here, which is something that I really try to promote and focus on my channel. One of the little parts that I just love about this book, you know when two people will go to a party and they're dressed the same way and you have this who wore it better? Wait, no, you can't wear that, I'm wearing that. Okay, we have that, except that the angels get to determine what gender they want to be, and so it's a little bit of a faux pas to come to the party the same gender as somebody. It's just a really unique way of looking at supernatural beings, and there's a lot of creative interpretation, which is again something that I love in books. But one thing that I will tell you, make sure that you have some chocolate when you're reading this book. This is gonna make you want some chocolate. I hope this is something that you will enjoy, that you will love. Even if you are not a cozy fantasy reader, I urge you, pick this one up.
Hello everyone, my name is Jen. My channel is Bookish Blonde. I am so excited to be here today. Thank you, Brittany, for including me in this awesome, fun compilation. Today for you, one of my Christmas recommendations for you is In the Holidays by Christina Lauren. I had so much fun reading this book. You got all the magic of Christmas feels in it. We are following Malin. She is not in the best spot in her life right now, but she's really looking forward to this holiday that she takes with her family and 2 other families every year since she was born in a snowy, wintry cabin in Utah. And we have a time loop trope where she keeps living the same vacation over and over again until she finds her true love, until she finds the answer that she's been looking for. One mishap, one disaster after another. She keeps reliving the same vacation. It's so fun. This made me laugh. I really got all the warm holiday feels from it, and it's a really fun romance. I hope you check it out. Bye.
Hi, my name is Margaret, and you can find me over at the channel The Word Nerd, and that's a 3 in a nerd instead of the E. The book that I want to talk to y'all about is The Care and Feeding of British Dragons by Quinby Olson. This is a very fun, very cozy, Jane Austen-esque story where we are following, well, if you've read Pride and Prejudice, we're kind of following the Charlotte Lucas character if she had never met and married. We are following an unmarried woman who has been living with her sister, taking care of her kids, and one day she gets a mysterious inheritance from her uncle, and the sister is thinking, oh, it's money, you can give that to me, it'll help take care of the kids. But instead, it's a whole bunch of oddities, including this really weird large rock. And as it turns out, the rock is a baby dragon. And now she has a baby dragon in Regency England, and she has to figure out what to do with it, all while also navigating the fact that there is a very hot vicar that is kind of interested in her as well, and is helping her with the dragon shenanigans, and she doesn't know what to do about that.
Hi, my name is Deb, and this is my furry sidekick, Kylie, and my channel is DG Reads. I read a little bit of everything with a focus on fantasy, horror, and thrillers. I have a prompt ball TBR game, themed vlogs, participation in readathons and reading challenges, and of course some Kylie in costumes. I want to thank Brittany for inviting me to be part of this collaboration. One book immediately came to mind, and it's one that I read last year, and that is The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. This is a book following a theater troupe trying to put on a festive presentation of Jack and the Beanstalk for the holidays, but things of course go wrong. The entire book is told through emails and letters and text messages, and the story covers a lot of petty relationships and rivalries. There's set issues and casting issues and a dead body in the midst of them trying to put on this play. And it is so much fun. This book had me chuckling all the way through, and it just was the perfect read to sit in front of the tree and enjoy some holiday reading. So I do very much recommend picking this one up.
Alright, I guess it's my turn now to provide you with a recommendation. The reason I chose this book is purely for vibes, because when I think of this time, when I think of the winter time, I definitely think of intense atmosphere. So for that reason, I wanted to go ahead and recommend Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This book is set on a small island in the Pacific Northwest called Saoirse. This is an island that is deeply rooted in ancestral magic, and I would say that the island itself is a character within this book. This book follows our main character, Emery Blackwood, who grew up on this island, and she always dreamed that she was going to leave leave one day, but her life forever changed when her best friend was murdered when she was a teenager, and the love of her life, August, was accused of the killing. August and his mother fled the island because they were essentially being persecuted for a crime they thought he committed, and lo and behold, Emery still resides on the island, and she's doing what she said she'd never do, and she's running her family shop that does tea leaf readings. At the very beginning of the story, Emery can kind of sense that something is coming because all of the leaves on the trees on the island have suddenly changed. They've gone from green to the autumnal colors, and lo and behold, August Salt, that love of her life that fled the island 14 years ago, has returned. His mother has passed away, and it was her dying wish that she be buried on Saoirse Island, and he is coming back even though he knows that nobody wants him there. He's coming back kind of for a reckoning. This was very, very difficult for Emery because, like I said, August was the love of her life, and he essentially just up and fled. He didn't say a word to her. They didn't have any kind of conversation about this. They had big plans of leaving the island and being together, and then he just up and left. So now that he is back, it is bringing up a lot of pain and emotion for Emery. And August's return to the island doesn't just shake things up for Emery. It shakes things up for the island as a whole. It brings to light a lot of long buried secrets. There are definitely some betrayals that are revealed. Keep in mind that this is a very small island where everybody knows everybody, and a lot of people just never leave. So you're growing up with the same families over and over. And so the complicated dynamics that often come of being a part of a small town are definitely explored a lot in here because of all of it. This is definitely a book that is more witchy in nature. Like I said, the island itself definitely feels like a character. It is more on the sentient side, so it has feelings, thoughts, and opinions about what is happening on the island. And it is certainly more representative of the autumnal winter season. And so all of that combined, along with the fantastic vibes in this story, make this my recommendation for you. All right, everybody, that is it. That is the Booktuber collaboration recommending you some great holiday, wintry, or cozy recommendations for this time of year. I hope you came away with a lot of amazing recommendations that you want to check out, and I also hope that you came away with some new booktubers that you want to follow. Again, all of their information is going to be linked down below for you to check them out. If you did find some good recommendations, please comment down below and let me know what those are, or please go ahead and also leave your favorite recommendation for this time of year. Or if you have made it to the end of this video and you are not feeling chatty, go ahead and leave me a snowflake emoji in honor of the theme of these recommendations. And as always, if you like this video or if you just like me, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Throughout the month of December, from the 1st through the 25th, I am aiming to post one video a day. So if you don't want to miss any of that content or chaos, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I would love to connect with you in any of those future videos or on any of my other social media platforms, which you can always find linked down below along with any books featured in the video. Until next time, y'all. Bye.